Those analysts who believe that finally there is a candidate who can unite the entire Luhya community. I think that is the main reason for the choice of Kakamega. And trust me, this is President William Samoei Ruto's worst nightmare. Why? Well, let me start by giving you information that has come out recently about the real census figures from the last census. You know, census figures, and we've said this on this channel, are very political, especially tribal numbers. And they're always rigged, interfered with, altered when they're released to the public. Now on your screens right now, you can see the real figures on the column on your left. And then the figures that Kenyans were given, sorry za jaba, on your right. And you can clearly see the community in Kenya right now that has the largest numbers, the Luhyas. Now you understand why this is Ruto's worst nightmare. You see, Ruto's policies have caused havoc in the nation called Kenya. But they've had a silver lining of uniting all Kenyans against this regime. And that would include uniting all Luhyas against this regime. So, what do these real census figures, this expose tell us? And by the way, this happened under the watch of former President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. His government altered the figures. But what do these figures tell us? They tell us any presidential candidate who can get the block vote of the Mulembe nation is almost certainly the one who will end up winning the presidency. Oh yes. For avoidance of doubt, you'll remember when Moi was leaving power, his calculations were based on the fact that any presidential candidate from the House of Mumbi who can be able to get the block vote of the community is almost home and dry to win the presidency. Of course, this plan was frustrated by Raila Odinga when at Uhuru Park he said those two famous words, Kibaki Tosha. Okay? And this Moi thinking was based on the real census figures at the time. But now you can see from the latest census figures, and using Moi's thinking, because Moi was very experienced in politics, that has shifted. And now the reality is, any presidential candidate who can get the block vote from the Mulembe nation is almost certainly going to be the next occupant of State House. I'm telling you, hii shida ya Sifuna is bigger than most Kenyans realize. Hii ni shida kubwa. Very difficult problem to deal with. Of course, for anybody who wants to frustrate it and to frustrate the will of the vast majority of long-suffering Kenyans. Bila kizungu mingi, kimeumana kuumana. That one is very clear. Because the train has already left the station. And it is moving at very high speed. Destination? State House. Nothing short of that. Now, very quickly before I go, you will need to move with speed because we're in the last Kipindi Chalala Salama, the last sponsor who has agreed to sponsor people so that you get the valuable golden key at the crazy, crazy price of only Kenya shillings 999 or $8. You can see the details on the screens right now. Now, what kind of sensitive information are you going to get? Well, all the previous highly sensitive special reports. How have they finished the pub? Please move with speed to avoid